Hello and welcome to D&H Gaming. My name is Hannah and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about digital content. Now this has been something I've been thinking about for a while, but really it's all been regurgitated because of the recent Xbox talks about sharing games and all that nonsense. Xbox have announced that they are allowing the publishers to choose whether we, the customers, are able to trade in our games. Now this isn't anything new. The Kindle does it already. In fact, Amazon Kindle, well, it's not really the same thing, but Amazon Kindle, they allow the publishers to price the books however they want. So normally you would have thought that a hardback is really expensive, paperback not so much expensive, and then you have the ebook, which, you know, it doesn't have any paper, so you would have thought it would be the cheapest. Wrong. The digital content is actually more expensive than the hardback. Now this is for different reasons than for games, but wait for it. We're getting to it. With the ebook, because it's instant gratification there and then, it is actually more expensive than buying the hardback. Traditionally, hardback books are bought first, and then about a year later the paperback comes out, which is cheaper, so everyone can buy it. So what this means is that the publishers, for example in the new Game of Thrones series, even though the books have been out for a decade, they are charging more than the hardback or paperback prices because of demand. And that's the publisher's choice, not Amazon. Now what does this mean for video game? What I want to talk about is, what is a game worth to you? We're growing up in, especially our generation, are growing up in a time where digital content is becoming almost everything. We have ebooks, we have e-courses, we have e-games, everything is digital. Even our photographs are all on a little memory card or a USB stick or on Facebook. And now our games are being treated the same way as our photographs. This doesn't seem like a big deal, but at the same time, let's think about the value. When you buy a game, especially at the moment, let's talk about like the PS3, the Xbox 360. When we buy a game, a lot of people, especially if they don't have a lot of money, or kids who don't work yet, they buy games, and then when a new game they want comes out, they go out and they trade in their games to get a discounted price off the new game. So those old games still have a value. Now if you take away that, and I know, you haters, I know Steam and a lot of other places like that, you can't trade in games. But I'm getting to it, just wait. Now if you stop this, if you make it so that everything is just digital content in the invisible internet ether, the way that Xbox is planning to do it and how these publishers will probably end up doing it is that because you can no longer buy old games and trade old games and stuff like that, you're just going to get a mountain of games that you don't want to play anymore, and they are just sitting around taking up dust. Now obviously this is very metaphorical because a lot of people are going to do more and more digital content. And if you have a look at David's Steam library, he has hundreds of games, which I bet he hasn't even played half of them. They're just sort of sitting around collecting internet dust. And there's no purpose for them, and to a sense, do they even have any value? When we part with money, we expect something physical in return, or at least something that will benefit us in return. And, you know, medical stuff, you know, you're getting good health, you're gonna live longer, whatever. When you buy a television, you get entertainment, or a chair, you get something to sit on. When you get games, yes, you get entertainment. And we put, especially our generation, put a lot of value on these games that bring us hours and hours and hours of entertainment and relaxation and general sanity. Now, can you imagine us when we're 70, 80 years old? Our grandparents, they valued things like jewelry and silverware and generally things that they can pass down to their next generation. And the next generation can benefit from those. And you know, you either keep them for keepsakes or you sell them on for something that you want yourself. Now, when we're old, a lot of us, a big portion of us, are gonna end up spending our money on digital things that don't really have an existence. And with things like these games that are locked to these accounts like Steam or consoles or cloud databases, they are locked to us. So what happens when one of us dies? Can we eventually write a will where we pass on our digital content to someone in our family? I mean, we paid for them, surely they are ours now. Or are we going to go into the legal terms of really we're just renting them from the companies? So basically what I'm trying to get at is, I'm not dissing games, I'm not dissing these companies, it's just something that's been bugging me. Is there really any value in digital content? Sure, it's convenient. I mean, I have a Kindle and I have so many books on there that I love reading, but it is kind of a pain in the butt where, hey mom, you should read this book, it's amazing. But the only way you can read it is if I lend you my Kindle, but I still kind of want to read my books. But I don't want to buy paperback books because I like my Kindle because it fits in my bag. Is this world of convenience just sort of going to eventually corrode and collapse in on itself because nothing will end up existing that we find valuable? Now obviously this is a very big sweeping statement. I am trying to focus on stuff like games, where once upon a time you had a game and something like Nintendo games or like first original Nintendo games, they sometimes go for thousands of dollars because they're rare or because they were so popular and they're hard to find or something like that. You can still sell those on. Comic books. Old comic books, half the reason the comic book industry is still around is because of the collector value of them. What happens if you take that away and make all comics digital? There will be no tactile value to them. You can't trade a digital comic and it be worth something like a paper comic is. I'm actually hoping to get the guys in on this and have a bigger discussion, because obviously this is just my one-sided and this is all very open, out in the air questions. But if you have anything to say on the matter, maybe I didn't word myself very well, or you want to challenge me, sure, go ahead in the comments, and I would love to get the guys and maybe some other people involved and have a bit of a discussion about this. Is it really an issue? That was just my thoughts for today, so let me know if you have any rebuttal, or if you agree, or if you have any points to add to it. Just let me know. Bye!